Welcome to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. I'm going to try to harvest some jalapenos before this giant thunderstorm rolls in. It's been very rainy here past week or two, and that's why I haven't made a video in quite a while. But we're going to harvest some jalapenos, and we've got a surprise that we're going to make. I like to clip them off. Does less damage to the plant. There's a lot of them in here. Not bad, huh? We're going to make some pickled jalapenos today in the Mexican style with, refrigerator pickles. We're not going to ferment these. We're going to make jalapenos with carrots and onions, and I'm going to show you how to do that. First things first, we want to wash real good our peppers. And I've got my onions down here that are fresh from the garden that have not been prepped and trimmed up yet, so we need to get these trimmed up. You'll want, about a pound of jalapenos, and depending on how much you like onions, a good medium-sized onion or a large onion will do. I've got a bunch of small ones that I need to use, so that's what I'm going to use. These were harvested a couple weeks ago. They've been curing in the garage, and I haven't processed them, so we'll do that now. I like to use a white onion with the jalapenos, but use whatever you have. Now, it's a matter of preference how you slice them up. I just like to cut them like so. On my channel, I also have a video on how to pickle jalapenos in a salt brine, in a ferment. And if you're interested in that, I'll link the video right here. I have seen many variations on this recipe on YouTube, and some folks put marjoram, thyme, all kinds of spices in here, cloves. We're going to add a little lime juice because I think Mexican food without limes is somewhat sad. I've got some carrots, about that much. What's that, 5 small carrots? You could do more if you like. Folks that like carrots, go for it. But I'm just going to take the tips off and peel them real quick, get them ready to chop up. Some folks don't peel their carrots. There's a lot of nutritional value in the peel of a carrot, but some carrot varieties have a bitter flavor in their peel. So that's up to you. Again, this is a very customizable recipe. And do it the way you like it. Just going to chop up my carrots into little rings. Some people like to do them diagonally, but again, it's up to you. Alright, now on to the jalapenos, and that's going to require gloves. I'm going to prepare our jalapenos by taking the ends off, and it's a matter of taste how you want to cut your jalapenos. There are several different ways. Some people cut them on the diagonal. Some people cut them long into strips so they lay on a taco nicely. Some people cut them into discs, which is what we're going to do today. Just cut them into, about 3/8 of an, or about a 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little less. Whew, these are potent smelling. Now you can actually adjust the heat of your final product by taking out the seeds if you want it less spicy. You can add sugar as well. And sugar tends to kind of offset the capsaicin, which is the oil in the chili pepper that makes it so spicy. And there we go. There's our peppers. You'll need 6 or 7 whole garlic cloves. Peel them and have them ready, and that ends all of our vegetable needs. If you have a molcajete or a mortar and pestle, let's get some spices ground up. I'm going to take about 3/4 of a tablespoon, 3/4 of a teaspoon of peppercorns and put them in there. Some recipes are as specific as saying use 10 or 12. We're going to take some oregano. Now this is already ground up oregano. but I'm going to put it in there anyway just to get it ground up a little more. Again, 3/4 of a teaspoon. If you have Mexican oregano, use that. It's a little bit different in its flavor profile. I don't have any on hand, so I'm just going to use regular oregano. So we're going to need also 3/4 teaspoon of cumin seed. This is the magic of Mexican food. Cumin. Put that in there. If you want a little more, put a little more. Now we're just going to crack those peppercorns and ground up those cumin seeds a bit. If you don't have this, you don't have to do it. You can substitute pre-ground spices. But this just gets you that freshness of the spice. There we go. And we'll just leave that in there for now until we need it. All right, let's get our escabeche going, which is the marinade. I'm going to take a neutral oil. You could use olive oil. You could use any kind of oil. And I'm going to put a couple tablespoons in the bottom of a big pot. That's about 2.5, 3 tablespoons. And we're going to cook on a medium heat. Wrong burner. And we're going to put in our onions first. Actually, I'm going to put my carrots in first since they're the hardest and let them cook a bit in there. All right, it's been several minutes and I can smell the carrots. I've taken the edge off of them. That's all we wanted to do with these carrots. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love carrots, just it's not my favorite thing in this particular dish. We're going to add our onions. We're going to get our onions cooking until they're almost translucent. I'm going to get it all broken up. And once our onions are almost translucent, we're going to add our jalapenos and our garlic. I like to add my garlic near the end of cooking because you can really make garlic go bitter if you cook it and accidentally burn it or cook it too long. And let's just let those onions get nice and almost translucent. While we're waiting, what we're going to need is 2 cups of vinegar and 1.5 cups of water. Let's get that ready. You can use white vinegar. Just plain old white vinegar is all you need. Some authentic recipes say you should have 2 cups of vinegar and 2 cups of water. Just do half and half. I've seen 2 cups of vinegar to 1 1/4 cups of water. I'm going to do 2 and 1.5 cups of water. So we'll fill this up to the 3.5 cup mark with water and we will be ready. And I said I was going to add some lime juice to this for flavor, but I can't find any. Apparently I used it all up. What I want to add right now is some bay leaves. I want to get those bay leaves in there. You can put 2 or 3 in there. You can put a few more in there. I like the flavor, so I'm going to add, was that 6, 7? That's 7 small to medium bay leaves. Get them nice and coated with oil so they'll heat up and release that essential oil. Let's put our spices in as well so they can get nice and heated. In goes our spice. That's a lot. The heat works on those spices to release those aromatics that are in there. That's what gives it all the flavors, those aromatic oils, those essential oils. All right. I think we can put our peppers in. In they go, seeds and all. That's about what we like to see. That's the consistency of carrot to jalapenos to onions that I like. And if you had some cauliflower you wanted to put in there, you could do that as well. All right, let's let that simmer a little bit more, and then we'll add our liquids. I almost forgot. Now's a good time to put the garlic in. Let's add our liquid, see if we have enough. Yeah, I'm going to make a little more. I want this to be covered. We're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to reduce the heat and let it simmer until the jalapeno peppers have lost their bright greenness. This is a dish where you want them to go dull green. Let's get some more liquid. Now we bring this up to temperature. We want to add 1.5 tablespoons of salt. When pickling, it's best to use kosher salt or pickling salt, although you can use iodized salt, but sometimes that iodized salt can change the color of your brine or your pickling juice. Sometimes it can do funky things. If that's all you have though, go ahead and use it. It'll still taste the same. Now we wait. What we'll do is cook this about 10 or 15 minutes on a simmer after we've come to a boil. And once the jalapenos are no longer bright green, that's when we turn the heat off. We just let them sit there till they cool down to where we can handle them. The liquid and the peppers and vegetables and all, they need to be cool, because what we're going to do next is put them in a jar. Doesn't matter what kind of jar. We're not pressure canning, so any kind of old jar, any plastic jar, whatever. Even a Tupperware would work. We're going to put them in there and let them cool down. Put them in the fridge for, at the very minimum, 24 hours, but the longer you wait, like 3 days, they'll be perfect. Okay, we've achieved a boil, and you can see how these jalapenos are no longer super bright green. But to get everything all blended together, I'm going to give it about, let's give it 10 minutes on a very low simmer. 10 minutes, and I'm going to cover it. All right, let's see what we have. That's looking perfect. Yeah. We're going to turn it off, let it cool down a bit, and then we're going to put it into our jars. If you have a marble countertop or a granite countertop like I have, put a towel down so you don't drip vinegar on there. That vinegar will etch away the calcium that's in this lovely countertop, so just be careful of that. We're going to distribute this between these 3 bottles or jars, and you want to make sure that once your chili peppers are in there, that they are submerged. So we'll kind of tamp them down a bit, get some brine, and top it off. I have enough that I could do probably 4 jars. These little jars take about 3, maybe 3.5 ladles to fill up. There we are. Now we'll let these cool to room temperature and pop them in the fridge, and come back 3 days from now and they'll be ready to eat. That's all we have left over. Just a little brine in the bottom and a few stragglers, but yeah, these will keep a month, perhaps 2 months. Beyond that, well, hopefully there won't be any left. But yeah, they keep in the fridge real well. There we go. Well, thanks for joining me on Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. If you like our cooking videos, I appreciate you stopping by. But we're mainly a gardening channel, and we grow the food that we've pickled today. And if you'd like to learn how to garden in a backyard, suburban, small context, follow my channel. Show you how to grow these peppers and all kinds of other wonderful food. Hey, take care. We'll see you next time. Happy gardening, happy cooking. Bye-bye.